Hi, I'm Merri Ansara speaking to you from Havana, Cuba. Recently, as the delegate from Massachusetts Peace Action, I attended the International Conference for World Balance here in Havana. At the conference were some 1,000 people from 90 different countries gathered to talk about how to build a better world for all of us. I took some time to speak with people there. I asked them where they were from, why they were there, and what they think we can do, both about the world and about the U.S. embargo of Cuba. Here is some of what they said.
Here we are in the youth forum that were participating some youth people from Cuba and from the other countries like Portugal, Turkey, Venezuela, Canada, and others with young Cubans talking about our national hero, about the ideas, about how we need to defend all the justice, the causes around the world, in particular to defend the Palestinian people. Even in our youth forum, we approved a solidarity statement for Palestine. Is our way to denounce the genocide and to say to everybody that the young people around the world stand with causes like Palestine, like Cuba, like Venezuela, and that we promote solidarity, in particular in this moment, in this context, that, for example, in the case of Cuba, we are facing an economical war against our country, promoted by the U.S. government for more than 60 years. We have a lot of examples of this economical war against our country in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, or even with the decision of the inclusion of our country in the list of state sponsors of terrorism. So that it's like the necessity that we have as young people to promote the unit of our new generation, to promote the solidarity, to promote or to stand against imperialism and to stand against these kind of measures that only affect our people and our family. Well, in the case, United States, I think that we can talk about that country without making some separations between the people in United States and the government of United States. In the case of the people, for us, first, we really appreciate the solidarity of the people from the United States with Cuba, and it's very important for us that people from the United States, for example, come to Cuba, see what is really happening, that Cuba is trying, and the people from Cuba, we are trying to live even with the blockade, to have a better future for our people. So it's very important for us that people from the United States come here, see what is really happening, and to continue promoting solidarity. In the case of the government of the United States, the United States government should see our young people from Cuba, the young Cuban people. The United States government should learn about how the young Cuban people, we all have the willingness to continue defending our revolution and to continue defending our socialism.
France. First, I've been invited by the ICAP, which is Institute of Friendship entre Pueblos. I came here to present my country, Palestine, and to express also my solidarity with Cuba and the cause of Cuba against the blockades that they've been suffering for a while. And I'm going to participate. I'm going to expose in this new kind of research that I did about the rights of the Palestinians to have their own autonomy. And the most important is never stop defending Cuba. Never stop talking about what the state is doing against Cuba. And I think that we've done a good work even that we didn't see the results as we wish, but we've done a good work so far, doing protests and doing being allies with other countries.
Well, in Brazil, we have a big Cuba solidarity movement. It's a very big network with all of these different organizations. It's very decentralized, which is a problem. We're trying to work on it, trying to be more connected, more organized. And I've been invited 2 years ago to the May 1st brigades, the May Day brigades that were happening here. I was able to come, met a lot of good people, was here for 2 weeks, people from all over the world, and I fell in love with Cuba. It's a great place. It's a place with a million issues, but none of ours. You know, Brazil is a very violent country. It's a country where land and bread are really the issue. We lack all of those. Not that we lack. We have a lot of land. We have a lot of bread. We just lack distribution. You know, if you wake up every day and you go to a bakery and you see all those goodies and all those little things, and about 30% of the population cannot buy it. We have all this land and it's out in the hands of the same few people. I think here's a place where we can meet other people who work in the same struggle. This networking of creating bigger networks. We have this one gigantic continental network of solidarity with Cuba that was created during the pandemic. That's happening in Latin America, in the Caribbean, trying to help Cuba during the pandemic, where we had all of those new sanctions made by the Trump government, and it was horrible. It was a moment of chaos, and Cuba has not recovered. In fact, it has gone into a deeper crisis after that. And so I think this is a moment for us who work with solidarity, work with different organizations to help Cuba, Palestine, all these different struggles around the world. We got to be together. We got to come together and have these meetings where we can articulate things and get new contact, get new networks going on.
Came on the invitation of Cuban Communist Youth to join to Youth Forum that's taking place in the World Balance Conference.
I came today for a panel of solidarity with Cuba. I was one of the speakers early in the morning in order to convey information about the situation with the United States. Well, first of all, I would like to thank you and everybody in the United States that has been standing up for in order to make a better world, or a war a better place, not just with Cuba, but with Palestine and fighting for peace. In the case of Cuba, we've been privileged of getting an enormous amount of support for Cuba for the embargo to be lifted, the blockade, to putting an end to the inclusion of Cuba in the so-called list of a sponsor of terrorism. I think that even when it was very ephemeral, the reality was that President Biden, who tortured Cuba for years with the same policies that Trump in his term had to admit at the end of his mandate that Cuba doesn't belong to that list. And at the moment of removing Cuba from the list was important because it was also a moment of a step forward in the battle of the Cuban solidarity, of the humanitarian organizations, of the peace and justice organization, to get that moment. A few hours or days later, President Trump put back Cuba, but it is important not to underestimate the meaning of what happened, because if they rushed to put it in the first presidential orders, it was precisely to give the right to what Cuba and people all over the world has been saying, that yes, the economic siege of belonging and the impact of belonging to such a horrible and criminal list, it has an impact in our life. They hurry up in order for the world not to know that if that decision remained in place 5 months, people that today cannot travel to Cuba would be able to travel. Operations and transference, banking operations that today are prohibited again, probably would allow us to buy food or medicines and have other goods and that the people of Cuba needs. So from now on, if you ask me, I think that Cuba, at this moment of threats, when there is anti-Cuban members of Congress that doesn't know Cuba, that doesn't care about Cuba, just for putting federal tax money in their pockets, are threatening our nation again, it would be important that you accompany that situation, denouncing the unnecessarily abuse, and also because it's counterproductive. Because if it was true that the priority of President Trump was to have more migrants, they should start with Cuba. We have a healthcare universal and free. We have an education that is free from kindergarten to college degree. If you're going to come and crash on Cuba and suffocate the Cuban population, they ended up doing exactly what Marco Rubio said the other day at a State Department. They didn't want to see us come out. A dramatic increase on the number of migrants, because you are putting obstacles to their wellness and their life in their own country.
I'm here in Cuba, to attend the World Balance Conference and get some in-depth understanding of what we can do to have peace in this world of ours. We would want to have absolute peace, sovereignty of all countries of the global village, and just have equal opportunities for all our countries on earth. And we all must coexist and live a harmonized, life, throughout the world. A lot of effort, and drive, to end, global wars. We want to have, an earth which is entrenched in some level of peace and tranquility. We want to have humanity, take precedence, and let's give the world and the planet Earth a humane face. Yes, it's to keep lobbying, for global peace. The United States is a superpower, and it's pivotal that it participates, in the best interest, of global justice. That the United States can take center stage and have peace, established, in the entire world.
Well, I'm a poet, and I write essays and about poetry and culture and identity and the Caribbean, things like that. Identity is important for me. That's why this gathering is a very important one.
And what do you think we should do about the U.S. embargo?
Burn it.
Because I'm learning here to keep on struggling,
And what do you think we should do about the embargo?
to keep on struggling.
Because it's important, especially in these times, to meet other people in solidarity, to learn from each other for peace and in anti-imperialism. I think first of all we have to say loudly and clearly everywhere we are that it's a scandal that this blockade even exists. That's the most important thing. And secondly, we can help Cuba with the Solidarity Brigade and with talking about Cuba and socialism in Cuba.
This conference is very important for me because it talks about a world free of aggression. So I see that there is a lot of aggression in the world, and we need to have a more peaceful world and respectful world. This is what is my ideology, and because of this I thought of learning from other people here from various countries, and also because it is Cuba and Spanish is being spoken here, I have been a follower of Cuban politics, and when I say that Cuba has played an important role in my studies. Cuba has helped me during my studies through its embassies, which was next to my university in New Delhi. So because of that reason, I came to attend this conference. We can spread the truth. I feel that there is a lot of misinformation and a lot of information that is going to the people that is not accurate, that is not correct. And a society like Cuba, I see that there is a lot of goodwill that Cuba had generated in the other countries. Me, it is a kind of model of resistance that has stood very strong, and it has not surrendered its ideas. I feel that we can spread information the correct information about Cuba from here, and we can spread goodwill about Cuba in the entire world. And we should also make people aware that no country has the right to decide the fate of another country. So every country and its people have rights to uh, live the way they want. People who really want to have a peaceful world, these people must come forward and they should be part of the leaders. We do not want billionaires and millionaires as our decision makers. But they are not taking us anywhere because they are highly guided by only the principles of profit.
We are here because we are the group of the Cuban. We are live in Italy, but I work more with this country, Cuba.
My topic of expertise is something which is nowadays called metaverse. It is somehow a synergy of a real world and digital world, cyber world. So, not only my opinion, but the opinion of many experts is that we are already in metaverse, and in the future we will be even much more. In order to have metaverse which is beneficial for all of us, we need to deal with some research activities which support developing, building that new metaverse which is somehow useful for all people on this globe.
I came principally because I wanted to get some interdisciplinary experience and also present my point of view from from perspective of pure mathematician about some challenges that we are facing now, and of course to expand and to contribute my network and contribute to international collaboration. I think that Cuba is beautiful and that Cuban people are beautiful people, and I wanted to express my solidarity with Cuba.